All right, let's dive right into a massive $20 billion question. This is the real life scenario facing the logistics giant GLP. They're at a huge crossroads, and the decision they make could literally reshape their entire future. We're going to break down this high stakes business case and figure out what's really going on.
Okay, so I want you to picture this. You're in the boardroom. Right there on the table is a proposal for a $20 billion IPO. I mean, it's a massive opportunity, right? But it's also packed with risk. So, do you pull the trigger? That's the exact decision we are going to dissect today.
First things first, let's get to know the company at the heart of all this, GLP. Because to really feel the weight of this decision, you have to understand their sheer scale. They aren't just a player in China's logistics market. You could argue they are the market.
And just to put some numbers on that, we're talking about a company with a staggering $80 billion in global assets under management. Yeah, $80 billion. This is not some little startup hoping for a big break. This is a global titan trying to figure out its next big move.
And their physical footprint? It's just immense. In China alone, GLP manages more than 420 business parks, and they're spread out across 70 different cities. That's a huge physical network that basically forms the backbone of the entire country's supply chain. And get this, they are absolutely on a roll. In the last fiscal year, the company saw a 10% jump in new and renewed leases. That covers 32 million square meters. So what does that tell us? It tells us they have some serious momentum, especially in a market that's recovering. So the big takeaway here is this. GLP is not making this decision from a position of weakness. Far from it. They are a financial powerhouse, they're resilient, and they're leading a critical market just as it's getting back on its feet. And that strength is exactly what makes this whole situation so fascinating. But here's the interesting part. GLP isn't just sitting back and enjoying its logistics empire. Nope. They are aggressively, and I mean aggressively, pivoting towards what they call the new economy. You know, those future-focused industries that are going to power the next big wave of growth. And you know what? This pivot is already paying off, big time. Just look at this income breakdown from the first half of fiscal year 2025. Data centers, they accounted for a whopping 41% of their income. That's actually more than their traditional rentals, so they are fundamentally changing their business from the inside out. And this breaks down their strategy into 3 really clear steps. First, they want to push their logistics rents way up by 30 to 50%, back to where they were before the pandemic. Second, they're scaling up their data centers like crazy to meet that explosive demand from AI. And third, they're tapping into their huge portfolio of renewable energy assets. It's a pretty brilliant plan. And you've got to understand, this isn't all just happening in a vacuum. GLP's strategy lines up perfectly with China's national priorities, specifically its 15th five-year plan. That plan is all about AI innovation, tech self-reliance, and green infrastructure. They are, as they say, skating to where the puck is going. So all of this momentum, all this incredible strategic alignment, it all leads GLP right here to this one critical moment. A crossroads where they have to make a massive decision. So what's actually on the table? Well, the specific proposal is to list their China business on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange probably in early 2026. And the goal? To raise an enormous amount of capital at a $20 billion valuation, basically to pour gasoline on their new economy fire. So really, the decision boils down to a very clear choice between 2 paths. Do you strike while the iron is hot and IPO now? Or do you hold back, strengthen the company privately, and wait for the future to become a little less murky? Let's break down the arguments on both sides. Okay, the argument to go for right now is pretty compelling. The company has incredible momentum, right? An IPO would give them the war chest they need to aggressively scale up those data centers and renewables. Plus, it would lock in value for their key investment partners like ADI. I mean, why would you wait when things are going this well? But the case for being cautious is just as strong. There are some serious headwinds out there. We're talking volatile rents and still a bit of an oversupply in logistics. Then you've got the whole geopolitical risk from trade tensions, which could easily spook investors. And look, as promising as those new economy sectors are, they're still in the early stages. Maybe a delay lets them mature a bit and could lead to an even higher valuation later on. So now we are right back where we started, in that boardroom. All the arguments have been made. The facts are sitting there on the table, and a decision has to be made. And this really is the heart of it, isn't it? Do you IPO now and capitalize on all that amazing momentum?
Or do you fortify the company privately and brace for whatever uncertainties might be coming? It's like a classic business school case study, but it's playing out for real with billions on the line. So the final question, well, it's for you. It's growth versus risk. It's momentum versus uncertainty. If you were a GLP executive sitting in that room with all this information laid out in front of you, what would your recommendation be? What's the call?